3D printing's cool and a lot of fun, and the technology's developed to where it is now so that anybody from beginners to hobbyists to professionals can dive right in and start producing quality prints right out of the box. Users have the ability to make just about anything from organization bins to games to cosplay props, or they can even make 3D prints that solve real-life issues. Another really cool thing though about 3D printing is that you could actually improve the user experience of the machine by printing custom accessories from the 3D printer itself. Today we're taking a look at some of the top accessories that I recommend printing for the Bambu Lab A1. These are prints that have made my experience using the machine even more enjoyable, and I'm sure they'll do the same for you as well. Hey, this is Rohan here. Before getting started, I just wanted to say that this list is not in any particular order of rank, but I am starting with prints that I think are beneficial to all A1 owners, then moving on to prints that I think are beneficial for AMS Lite owners as well. Kicking off our list is the A1 cable heatbed protector. And you can tell from my video thumbnail that this is an important one, because it's actually vital to the health of the machine, so make sure you print this and install it to the back of your A1 right away. So the reason for this is because Bambu Lab has issued a callback on the heatbed cable for the A1 after investigating a number of reports from users. This does not affect the A1 Mini, by the way, and is specific to only the A1 model. They posted an article on their blog on January 28th detailing this problem. They mentioned steps that you should take as an owner, as well as steps that they'll be taking as a company to resolve this issue. I provided a link to this blog article in the description below so that you could check it out for yourself as well. By the way, links to any of the accessories in this video are also included in the description so that you can 3D print them. The blog post states that users were reporting unstable temperature readings from the heatbed, and that after investigating they found that the root of the power cable at the back of the A1, which connects to the heatbed, was susceptible to damage. Bambu Lab states that they identified a few causes for this issue, which can either be from rough handling during transportation, mishandling during installation like if the machine was placed on its rear, putting stress on the cable base, or from external force after assembly like if something was resting up against the cable which would cause it to bend, or from something hitting the cable. The blog article includes a couple of photographs as well which demonstrates what a damaged cable looks like versus a healthy cable, so that you as A1 owners can assess your situation. So what should you do if you own an A1 3D printer? Well, stop what you're doing and assess the situation immediately. Do not continue printing until you do this, because you could be putting yourself or people in your household at risk. They've only mentioned unstable power readings, but we're talking about a heatbed here that's supposed to get up to 300 degrees Celsius, so there is potential for fire hazard as well. If you fall into the category where your cable is damaged, then unfortunately, you'll need to stop using your A1 immediately and reach out to Bambu Lab. There's a link within the article to create a support ticket, so if your cable is damaged, fill that out right away and attach a photo or video of the problem so that they can get back to you quickly. In this situation, if you do have a damaged cable, the solution that Bambu Lab's offering is to provide you with a replacement cable so that users can install them themselves. Or if you're not comfortable doing the installation, then they're offering to replace the entire machine for you. For A1 owners that do have a healthy cable, you'll still need to take preventative action by printing and installing the heatbed cable protector that I mentioned. Again, you can find the link for the 3D print within the blog article or within the video description below. The cable protector prints in two parts and installs with the arrow of the design facing towards the machine. This should eliminate any stress from the base of the cable and protect it from external force which might cause damage. While this is a good preventative measure, it's just a temporary solution though until Bambu Lab provides us with a more permanent solution. They'll be mailing out a more permanent engineered version of the cable protectors to everyone who has bought an A1, and they suggest installing it right away once received. So luckily for myself, when I assessed my A1, the cable was fine and in good shape. So I just went ahead and printed the temporary cable protector and installed it right away. The print didn't take long and the installation was quick and easy. It only took a few seconds. So this is unfortunate news and I hope it doesn't affect you, but if it does, make sure that you take the necessary actions and don't put you or your household at risk. A few people commented in my last video saying that they had just ordered an A1 printer. So if you've just received it, make this your first order of business after assembly. Okay, now that we've covered the doom and gloom, let's get into the fun stuff, because this list was meant to be positive and hopefully beneficial. So, the second accessory on our list is a must-have for any A1 user in my opinion. So the A1 series automatically purges filament before every print, and whenever switching colors for multicolor printing if you're using the AMS Lite. This means that you'll end up with lots of waste around your printer over time. So after I grew tired from collecting waste from beside my printer, from the floor, and even from inside my plant pot, I decided it was time to add a collection bin. There's lots of variations of bins for the A1, but I went with this one, the A1 PMS or Purge management system, because I like its simplicity and the fact that it fits with the Z-axis stiffeners of the AMS Top Mount accessory as well. We'll come back to that later. This design also has a second build plate, which includes a deflector that attaches to the Purge wiper, and it has grip brackets as well, which claim to improve the stability of the A1, but I don't really see how that could be better than the A1's rubberized feet that it already has, so I didn't bother to install those. So after printing and installing this accessory, my purged filament is now neatly collected, my work area is kept clean, and my plant's happy. Next on our list is the Bambu scraper grip. This one's pretty basic, but it's an essential tool nonetheless to help remove prints from the build plate. Both the blade and the installation screws are included with the A1, but the handle and case need to be 3D printed. This design also has a profile for the AMS, so it allows you to print a secondary color for the branding. You can't just print in one color though if you're not using the AMS, so no worries there. Of course, you can always just 3D print a scraper entirely of filament, but I find that the edge of those plastic blades tend to chip away after a while. So this accessory gives you a durable metal scraper instead that will last a long time. Next up is the small A1 series accessory box. So the A1 comes with a standard accessory box made of cardboard and plastic molding, but if you like something more durable and official looking, then this is a nice upgrade. This print also has a profile for the AMS, but you can just print in one color if you like as well. The tools fit nicely into their dedicated compartments, and the sliding lid keeps them secured. This design also includes a variety of label options for the side panel as well. So if you own a different Bambu Lab printer, or if you just prefer a blank design, you can print the version that you like. The next accessory on the list is the A1 build plate aligner. So it usually takes me a few tries to align the magnetic build plate evenly, and I often hear other Bambu Lab users complain about the same issue. So this design aims to solve that problem. The print clips onto the right rear of the build plate, and it makes it easier to evenly align. Though it's not perfect every time, I find that it does help, and it takes me far less tries to align the build plate. Up next is the Bambu Lab plate caddy or plate holder, a vertical stand for organizing your extra build plates. What I like about this design is how it staggers the build plates, making it easy to identify and choose from the selection. Oh, and because the A1 has the same build volume as Bambu Lab's Core XY models, you can also store build plates from the P1S, P1P, and X1 Carbon using this accessory as well. Right now, I only have the textured PEI plate that came with the A1, but I'll be grabbing a smooth plate and maybe a cool plate as well once more become available on the website. So I plan on storing them using this once they arrive. Moving forward with our list are mentions specific to the A1 AMS Lite combo, and to kick things off, up first is the AMS Lite PTFE removal tool for the A1. As A1 owners would know, it can be frustratingly difficult to remove the PTFE tubing from the print head, but this tool makes it a lot easier. To install this, you'll first need to remove the connected tubing, which you can do by lowering the Z-axis all the way down, then using either a set of tweezers or a 3D printed tool to press down on the release clamp of the port. You need to do this while pulling on the tubing at the same time. This action always requires using an uncomfortable amount of force to push down on the release clamp, so this tool is useful because it allows you to remove the tubing with less effort and without putting stress on the Z-axis. The design itself has two cap options to choose from, so after removing the tubing for the accessory installation, just slip one of the caps over the tool head filament hub, then slip the disc part of the print underneath the hub, and you can then reinsert the tubing. After reinstalling the tubing, give them a gentle tug to make sure that they're in securely. Now whenever you need to remove tubing, you can just do so by squeezing the disc and cap together. You're going to need to change tubing eventually due to wear and tear, or if you're switching from using the AMS Lite to the spool holder, or vice versa, so this makes it a whole lot easier. Up next on our list is the Sunlu AMS Lite adapter. So in order for spools to work with the AMS Lite, they need to have a hole between 53 to 58 millimeters wide in order to mount. Unfortunately, the 1 kilogram spools from Sunlu just have too big of a hole, but this accessory solves that problem. The design prints in two parts, which reduces the size of the hole once installed. For installation, just insert the printed parts into the hole, one from each side, then screw them together. Now that we've installed the adapter, the Sunlu filament mounts securely to the AMS Lite, and it has no trouble feeding filament. This next accessory might be considered the most significant upgrade for the A1 AMS Lite combo, and it's none other than the AMS Lite Top Mount for the A1. So one of the few negatives that I found with this setup was that the AMS Lite doubled the footprint of the A1. While I didn't mind at first having the AMS Lite sit next to the printer, I decided that I want more desk space, and this seems like a good solution. Because there's quite a few parts, this print does take a long time, but the assembly part was easy. It's important to note that you're also going to need screws to complete this assembly. Bambu Lab sells the necessary screws in a kit for only $2, but you can easily just source them from your local hardware store instead. You'll need two M3-23 screws for the latch that secures the AMS Lite to the top of the print frame, and you'll also need a total of 12 M3-10 screws, 8 to secure the C-clamps to the Z-axis stiffeners, and 4 to secure the AMS Lite to the AMS mount. If you're thinking of buying the A1 3D printer, then I suggest just adding the screw kit to your shopping cart as well, even if you're undecided about top mounting the AMS Lite. The screws are so cheap that it's better to have them and not need them than to need them and not have them. So for the assembly, I started by first unplugging my A1, disconnecting the power cable, then removing the PTFE tubing from the print head. With the machine fully disconnected, it can now be rotated freely and it's much easier to work on this way. I also cleared space on my work surface and laid out all the printed pieces and tools required for the installation. In addition to the screws, you'll also need the H2 Allen key and a bit of grease from the accessory box that was included with the A1. To make the assembly easy, Bambu Lab also includes a PDF guide as well as an instructional video that you can follow along with. I first start by applying a bit of grease to the inside of the AMS mount upper half to reduce friction when joining it to the bottom half. Once that's done, I place the lock insert into the hole of the upper half, then insert the lock screw to fix the position. Afterwards, I position the lock mount, then secure it in place using 2 M3-23 screws. So now it's time to prepare the Z-axis stiffeners, and we do this by inserting these hollow cylinders for dampening. Afterwards, I rotate the A1 to get access to the back so that I can install the C-clamps and Z-axis stiffeners easily. I work the C-clamp opening around the print frame Z-axis from the side while giving it a little bit of a wiggle. Once the C-clamp snaps on, I then rotate it so that it's fixed in the right position with the screw holes pointing towards the back of the printer. I then repeat the same steps for the other side, then install the Z-axis stiffeners, then screw them together using M3-10 screws. Now that the base portion is installed, I move on to installing the AMS mount. Simply hook the mount to the top of the print frame, then close the latch, ensuring that it clicks into place. Now we can insert the AMS Lite into the mount and secure it into place with the remaining M3-10 screws. We want to make sure that spools 3 and 4 of the AMS Lite are facing the same direction as the AMS screen, as you'll need the longer PTFE tubes belonging to spools 1 and 2 to be further away. Don't forget to plug the 4-pin connector back in as well. Lastly, we just need to clip the PTFE tube guides onto the AMS Lite feeder unit, then reinsert the tubing into the ports of the AMS Lite and the A1 print head. The taller tube guides get placed in the back for spools 1 and 2, and the shorter tube guides get placed in the front for spools 3 and 4. Now that the AMS Lite top mount is installed, I'll plug back into A1, power it on, and load some filament. Even though the Z-axis stiffeners help to balance the setup, I prefer to keep the heavier spools up front on 3 and 4 to ensure that the weight is well supported. Now that I've freed up some desk space, I've got more room to work and I'm happy. This last accessory on our list is a complementary piece to the AMS Lite top mount just mentioned. This is the top side mount extension arm for the spool holder. As you can see with the AMS Lite now top mounted, there isn't any room for the spool holder, but this accessory solves that issue. At some point or other, the spool holder is going to be required since Bambu Lab doesn't recommend using the AMS Lite with flexible or rigid filament because it might jam or cause damage to the PTFE tubing. So if you're using TPU filament for example, the spool holder should be used instead. Now with this accessory installed, the spool holder can be mounted alongside the AMS Lite, giving you the ability to use either hardware. So that concludes our list of must-have accessories that you can 3D print for the A1. These are prints that help to organize and enhance your overall experience, but what I think is cool is that people are contributing to the 3D printing community by uploading their designs to help solve problems and make other people's experiences better. Again, if you're an A1 owner, please take caution to the heatbed cable callback that I mentioned earlier, and make sure that you assess your situation as soon as possible and take the necessary actions to prevent damage to your machine or worse. Otherwise, I hope that you found the information in this video useful. So I'd love to hear what accessories you've 3D printed for your A1 as well. If I've missed anything that you think deserves a mention, please let me know in the comments. Also, feel free to drop a suggestion for content that you'd like to see me cover on my channel. If you enjoyed this content, please check out my other videos, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you can be informed when new videos are released. Links can be found in the video description for any of the 3D prints and products featured, and any affiliate links used helps to support this channel and no extra cost to you, of course. Thanks for watching, and until next time, see you then.